Guys, are we live? Are we live? Guys, you're welcome to Creative Kingdom AB. Guys, let's do it. Side of limitation is lock. Oh my God, guys, is my settings okay? Because I prefer to be giving you guys long video, but to edit is other thing. And I have more than enough. To edit is just other thing. I believe to just go live like this is more, it is more preferable. It is more preferable because hence we have a lot of topic we should discuss about. Why not going live? You know, why not going live? So guys, what about this creating radiation is lock? Why is it lock? Why is it lock? It's said to create orientation is lock. Why? Guys, oh, are we live? That is one thing I want to get now. Are we live? If you are live, let me know. If we are live, let me know. Let me know. We have a very interesting, very interesting topic to talk about. This is all about our nation, Nigeria. So there's a name we should talk about it. This, I don't know if you are live, guys. Are we live? Are we live? Yes, we are live. So it should be like this then. The horizontal is just something else. It's okay like this. Guys, let's go. Let's discuss. Share this video, guys. If the volume is, this is my first time of coming live. Guys, let's not ruin it. Let's not ruin this life. This is my first time of coming live. I always, cutting video, editing it, just dropping it there. Hence, I have a lot to discuss about what is actually going on in Nigeria. There's a need for we to continue to address issues. This mouth was being given to us to address issues. So when I just edit video, just drop it there, I believe it's not doing justice to what I actually want to what I actually want to discuss about. Because in most cases the storage will also be an issue. I think there's a need for me to be doing it live, to just come at live and do what we need to do together. Let's build it together. Let's do this together, guys. I have this topic to discuss about. Share, please, share. There's this topic I would like us to talk about the issue going on in Nigeria. Do we like what is actually going on in Nigeria? Do we like things going on like this? Look at issues we should be discussing about, we should be addressing. Look at issues. At times, I'm just emotional about what is actually going on in Nigeria. But it's not enough for we to just be emotional and just say, hey, yeah, it's not enough. We need to start engaging ourselves. We need to start talking is true. We need to start bringing awareness about it. We need to start telling the world over what is actually going on in our nation. A lot. I said at times, please, if you are out there, just let me know. Say, welcome to Lunchtime. Remember to guide your privacy and all of that. Okay, hence today is my first time. There's always a first time. Hello. There's always a first time. This is my first time coming live on this app. This is my first time. Please, guys, don't ruin it for me. Don't ruin it for me. Encourage, and let's go. We can do it. Let us encourage this live stuff of a thing, this live chat of a thing, live video coming out live, no editing. Do you know how what it looks like? So this is a high time we just let it go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. We can do it. We can do it, guys. So I will address some topic regarding what is actually going on in Nigeria. Is the volume okay? Is the volume okay? I don't know. Let's see. Is the volume okay? I believe it's not bad. I use my other device to just check the volume. I just checked the volume. I believe we are good to go. We are good to go. So guys, I don't know why I'm even happy about what is going on. I don't know where all this excitement is even coming out from. There's a need. Let's go do it. Let's do it. Let's do this. Guys, what is going on? What is going on in Nigeria? What is going on in our nation? What is going on? Guys, oh my god, a lot of shit, a lot of stuff is really actually going on. So there's a need for we to address it anyway. It's not enough, it's not enough for we to just say, we are we believe in God, and we go to religious gatherings and just and say God will do it, and just fold our hands and say everything is fine. Yes, everything is fine now. It's not enough. It's not enough to just keep on believing and say God will do it. It's not enough. It's not enough. God does not work. Yes, God does not work like that. God don't work like that. It's not enough for we to just say, God will do it. How is God going to do it when you are not doing it? When we are not doing it, how is God going to do it when we are not doing it? How is God going to work when we are not working? How is God going to solve problem when we are not solving anything? How is God going to create enabling environments in our beloved nation when we are not creating that enabling environment? We're talking about personal responsibility. How can God possibly create enabling environment when you and me are not creating that enabling environment? How can God possibly do it when you are not doing it? You are not taking responsibility. So that is the reason why I said there is a need for we to talk about this. For we to talk about it. There's a need. There's a need for we to actually talk about it. I believe, and we can also share this for others to know what we are doing here. Oh, guys. The topic of what I'm about to, the topic of this segment is believing. It's about believing. Yeah, believing. You know, there's a difference. You cannot just, when we say believing, how can we possibly say we are believing? It's just believing without, taking any proactive actions to solve a problem and say we just believe. How can we possibly do that? This is a call to action. Calls to action. This is a call to action. Believing without taking responsibility, does it actually make sense? Without taking any proactive responsibility, without taking responsibility, does it make sense? How can we possibly say, we are believer? We are believers, so we believe in God. We are not idol worshiper. We are not this. We are believers without taking responsibilities. How can that be true? It's a faith without action is dead faith. It's not enough to just say we believe. It's not enough to just believe in. We believe in God every Sunday, everywhere, traffic everywhere. It's not enough. We need enabling environments. We need to solve our own issues regarding what is actually going on in Nigeria. We need to take proactive step. Hello. Hi, guys. I said there's a need because when I look at the issue of, editing video and all of that, I notice that I'm not actually doing justice. I'm not doing justice about bringing what I actually, what God have prepared, what I've already prepared inside me to give to my word. I am not doing justice about that. As I know that a drop of water is what make. Hi, this message is hold for view. You are being restricted. I don't. Hello is fine. Hello. Hello. Look, Lucas. How are you? How are you doing? How is your day going? I hope you can relate to what we are talking about here. Hope you can relate. You can actually relate to what we are talking about. When we look, when it's not enough to just emotional about what is going on in my country. Which country are you, watching from? Please kindly put it under the comment section with the country you are watching from. Let me know under the comment section. It's not enough to just believe and say, I believe in God. I'm a believer. We believe in God. But there's no enabling environment. The environment is not safe. It's not the environment, the society we are living. Children, no future plans for the children. The upcoming generation, we should be living for them. That is a legacy we must leave behind. We must leave something behind. We cannot just be thinking of how to do our stuff and join our ancestors and abandon everything hostile. they abandon everything, abandon issues, just as our forefather abandoned many things that we are not facing, many challenges in Nigeria. If our fathers tackles issue the way they should, I don't think we should be fighting this fight. I don't think there would be any need for me to come and put my camera and be addressing topics like this. I don't think I don't think there will ever be any need for this. This message is heard for you. Okay. Hi, Brother Emmanuel. I said, I'm not, Brother Emmanuel, we are talking about our nation, Nigeria, is what I do know. I say, I'm not doing justice, when I just do 5 minutes, 5 minutes, edit 5 minutes video, just throw it out there and say, dash it on your face there. I'm not actually doing justice to it the way I should, it's not really, bringing out what I am carrying, what I want you to know, what I want you to hear, what I want we to acknowledge. So that for 5 minutes video, short video, is not doing justice to some. So to doing justice to it, I said there's a need for me to at times coming out live for we to address some issue regarding what is going on in Nigeria. Yes, because whenever I notice whenever I watch, hear, see things that are going on in Nigeria, I will just be emotional and say, what kind of, I'm not, at times I will say I don't want to hear anything concerning that nation. I don't, I cannot possibly just deny all those. You cannot do it. It's the core. Is a call. You cannot ignore. I'm not able, all this while I can't just ignore what is actually going on in Nigeria. I try to ignore, but I cannot. So then I don't know that this is it's just a burden. I don't know that this is a call. That is that is what we are talking about, calling. This is a call. I can possibly hide out, stay in my comfort zone. I can possibly, be looking for, just focus on mundane things, material things, focus on my things, being different, being different between me and what is going on in Nigeria. I can possibly, but there's this calling, there's this burden, there's this concern. Whenever I see the children, what they are going through, whenever I see our mothers, what they are going through in the hands of our Nigerian politicians, whenever I saw whenever I just watch what is actually going on, there's this burden on me that says, don't ignore. Because the silence of righteous is what actually breaks things down mostly. So I said there's a need for we to address. So when I look at the level, the quality of believer, the quality of believing we are giving to offering to God in the nation Nigeria, I now notice that something is definitely wrong. There must be a shift on this. We cannot just possibly say we believe and say everything, God will do it. It's not enough to just say believe. Believing is not enough. Believing is not enough. We cannot just, leave it there and say, we already believing. Yeah, we believing. No, it's not enough to just believe. Because the issue that Donald Trump, the American president, have to address about Nigeria is about unaliving, backbiting of Christians in Nigeria. He have to show his concern. He have to show concern when he noticed that this is not how it should go. God blesses the nation with all kinds, different kinds of mineral resources. God has blesses the nation with different kinds of natural resources. Is this blessing not turned a curse? Simply because that few elites have hijacked the nation? So is it not a curse? It's not a curse, it's still a blessing. Our natural resources, our mineral resources, all our resources, our raw materials, they are blessings for the nation. It's not a curse. There's never a time what God blesses you will turn a curse. The only thing that is wrong is that the people managing it, they have problem on their head. They have issues on their head. They have wrong attitude to resolving problem. Because you cannot live in a nation, in a world whereby there's no issue. There must be no nation without issues. But how the difference is how the attitude they use to resolve their issues, using to resolve issues is what makes the difference. I cannot possibly say that there's nation that has no issue. All nations have their own issues, but the attitude resolving them is what matters. Which attitude Nigerian leaders using to resolve Nigerian problems? Is it positive attitude or negative attitude? So a situation whereby using negative attitude to come and resolve problem, that is where it now appear as if the word God has blesses the nation with, it now look as if it's not a cause. It's never a cause. There's never a time God can give you something that not later turn a cause. No, it's the people that has problem on the way they are on their mindset, their mind, their way they've been brought up, their character, their attitude. Is the people that are not discipline themselves enough as a leader to resolve problem. So, as I said earlier, it's time for we to just, move from believing to take responsibility. It's enough of believing. We are believe. Everybody know that you say you are a believer in half population. We are talking about approximately 300 million population. It's also a blessing by human population is also a blessing for the nation. But we now have few elites who their mindset is odd. It's odd to resolve issues. So this is a call for action. Call to action. Call to actions for believers in Nigeria. Call to action for believers in Nigeria. The believers in Nigeria to take responsibility, personal responsibilities. You cannot just possibly fold your hands and say you are believing. We are believers, so God will do it. We are be praying. No, God don't work that way. God don't work like that. It can never happen to just be looking and say God will do it. God don't work. God cannot do it when you and me are not doing anything about it. When we are not taking responsibility. God cannot do anything when you cannot do anything. You must have to tell God that you are created for purpose, for a reason. The reason why life is being given. You must demonstrate that to God, for God. Demonstrate for God to know that you are, at least you are a human being. That in what you are obedient. You are obedient. Obedience is better than sacrifice. sacrificing, going and be carrying offering, carrying money and go and put in a religious home. All those obedience to what you are called to do in life. That is what matters. Are you obedient to God's calling? Are you obedient to the plan God have planned for the earth? Are you obedient? So taking responsibility in our nation, in our community, from the community, in our community, over our community, taking responsibility for development of our communities, our society, our nation, and the world, taking responsibility. So it's not enough to just say we are believers. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We are believers. It's not enough believing. It's not enough believing. That is the point. It's not enough believing. It's not enough believing. Not just believing. It's not enough. Believe just no. It's not enough. Believing. I believe in God. I believe in God. It's not enough. Believing. Faith. That is what we are calling believing. Faith without work, without responsibility, without action is dead. Let this get sink into our head. Faith without action. Even the sacred book make you to understand. So it's not enough believing. Just carrying vulnerable people. Everybody around the religious gathering, they are vulnerable for anyone, any ungodly species to run into them anytime. Their safety is not guaranteed. Just make them vulnerable. It's not, you can say that believing is not enough, but taking actions, taking responsibilities, is what matters. Our believing should lead to taking responsibility. That is the action I'm talking about. Taking personal responsibility. Our believing should graduate to taking action, because when you look at the high level of Christians in Nigeria, then things are collapsing on their faces. The nation is dilapidating every day, collapsing every day. Things are getting out of hands every day. Things are getting out of shape. Then you now ask, what kind of believing is this? What kind of quality of Christians are this? What kind of quality of believers are this? Then you now know that this is a call to action. It's not enough believing. Believing must graduate from believing to action. Faith must graduate to action. That's what makes it faith. What are all the gathering here and there, little gathering, in Jesus' name, what are we producing? We should be producing things that we guarantee the safety of lives that you are bringing to the society. You are breeding every day. We should be producing things that can guarantee the safety of people. We should be producing things that can guarantee that can solve the hunger problem in the society. We should be producing. We should not just say believing, then just no. The nation is, when I saw a video, is on this very one. This is this phone I'm using to stream. Is in this phone. It's like I've showed it. Let's see. When I saw some children in Nigeria eating the leftover, even the leftover, eating the oh my God, the refuge, eating from refuge, eating the leftover of the people. I don't know what they actually did, the party, whether they did marriage or the celebration they did over there. So they were eating the leftover of the people, they were eating the leftover. They have oh my God, so deteriorating. Children, these are children that God gave the nation resources for. These are children that God has given the nation the mineral resources, the natural resources, even we have everything, even human resources. Is a blessing. Our raw material was being given to us in that nation in order for the leaders, anyone that we assume itself to power, that we enter, occupy into, that we occupy into one office to manage these things in order for them to use those things to the fund being generated from these mineral resources, natural resources, raw material, to use it to plan for the future of these children. Plan for them. But when it now comes to our beloved nation, there's nothing like that. No planning. No planning. Then you now know that there's something that's actually going wrong. So it's not enough believing. It's not enough believing. Faith should lead to action. Believers are not just called to pray or speak alone. Pray, that is what I said. Pray, let's pray over this. Let us pray that this country, God will come and help us. Everything will be good in this country. Let us, it sounds good, right? But it's not done that way. It's not done that way. Believers are not just called to pray or speak alone. You look at what Romans said. He said the earnest expectations, they are eagerly waiting for the manifestations of the sons and daughters of God. Manifestation of you, what you will manifest, all you are going to do is what they are eagerly waiting for. They are waiting for what you are going to do to save them, to solve their problem, to resolve issues. So believers is not about just believing, speak, or to pray, but to also help to improve communities, society, nation, the world. When I saw I saw on one broadcast when they were saying that at this point Donald Trump has a lot on his hand. I said yes. Life was being given to us for we to use it to solve, to be solving, to provide solutions, for resolving issues. It's not to create problems, not to create problems. So, and I say, yes, he has a lot in his hand. On that broadcast, they were saying that was what they were actually saying on that broadcast, on that national television national news. We're saying, at this point, Donald Trump has a lot in his hand. He has this. He had to solve the problem of Ukraine. He had to solve the problem. Now Nigeria is also yearning, crying, and say, Donald Trump, come and help. Because why? The laborers are few. The work is many. Laborers are few. The sacred book always makes us to understand. So there must be personal conviction, which means taking responsibility. When someone truly believes, as a matter of fact, it should show in how he handles issue. It will show in how, when people believe, when we are talking about half percent, half percent of Nigeria are Christians, while the others are Muslims and all of that. When we claim that we actually believe in God in natural sense, when we claim that they are true believers as we said, we truly believe. When we say that they are truly believers who actually believes in God, when we claim that, do you know what that means? It means that we are supposed to be helping the nation. We are supposed to be of help, to care for others. So believing in God is not to attract plight to the people, bring pain upon the lives cause chaos to the nation, like what the ungodly species are doing in Nigeria now. I call them species because there's no what you can use to qualify their whatsoever they claim is ungodly species. They are ungodly species. These are ungodly species. So I believe on how Donald Trump said that they should be treated. He said that they should send them, they should be deleted to what they claim. And as they claim that they believe in God, for me, God never, for the level, I've used my life knowing this God since I was born. Since from I born it, yes, I was born into a believing yes, into a believer's family. Into a believer from 9 years old. I started from 8 years. From my 8 years, I started, taking note of things. I believe that my parents, they have love for God. So being born into such family, you should know this God better. So due to my experience with this God that they have introduced to me, I believe that God never find pleasure in the pains and the calamity of humanity. So a situation whereby mentioning the name of God, committing, creating sin, taking lives, there's never God in that. There's never God. So anyone that claims that they believe in this God in Nigeria, I don't know what the kind of God they are talking about. Probably it might be understandable when they are talking about their God in John 10:10. In John 10:10, it said the only three things that their father, which is he said the devil came to steal, to kill, and to steal and to destroy. That is the three things, the three works that of the devil. I believe that is their God they are talking about. It's not the God who said that this is, and for John 3:16, he said, for him so loved the world, for God so loved the world. He loved the world even to an extent. He not allow his only begotten son. Only a begotten son that believe in him, that believe in his worldview. He said, I can a son of man do nothing of himself except what he see his father. So he believe he's the only one that claimed that he ever see what God is doing. No other human being have claimed that he saw how God does his things. It's only him, the only begotten son, the Lord Jesus, that said that he said the Son of Man can do nothing of himself except what he see his father doing. So how did he now went on doing it? He went on doing good. He went on doing good. When he saw whoever is in a plight, in a problem, in a pain, he will heal, he will provide solution to his problem. He was the one who reflects how God functions. He reflects. He was the one who actually reflects God to us. He said, they call it to the sacrament. He said, no eyes have ever seen God except him. the only true God. It's a true, only begotten Son. No eyes, no physical eyes, no human being, because God is a spirit. God is a spirit. And he said those that will worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So if we say we are worshiping him, we believing in him, so we are human. We are not spirit. We are human being. To pray is invisible thing. So to sing, to praise is invisible thing. To have a quiet moment and say we have a meditating on it is invisible. Is a we are meditate. We are have a quiet moment. All those are invisible moment, invisible activities. But we are physical. So it's not enough when we said that we are believers in that nation, Nigeria. We should know that we are accepting a responsibility. We are telling God that when we, yes, it's not enough to just say we believe in. No. Faith must convert to action in order to get tangible results. Take responsibility. From faith to responsibility. That's the right word. From faith to responsibility. So in process of taking responsibility, then that will not guarantee the results for seeing that enabling environment in a nation like Nigeria. Guys, I won't spend much of it. I won't take much of our time. So if we said we really actually believe in God, it means we are accepting responsibility. We are accepting a responsibility. That is it. We just basically accept full responsibility to help humanity, to help our society. You know, when I doing, at initial state and at initial stage of this segment, I said I mentioned about helping our nation. You know, that sound somehow on your ear. We say helping the nation. Am I the governor? Am I a president? Am I the president? Am I the governor? Am I the minister? Am I the honorable? Am I this? Am I? That is what your mind will be interpreting that word to be. But you just told us that you are a believer. Be telling me that you are a believer, that means you are telling me that you just accepted a responsibility. But when I said that now is our time, is a believer, is a responsibility of a believer to solve to help the nation, to help his or our nation. You now say, am I a president? But you are the one that told me that you are a believer. You believe in God. When you said you are a believer, meaning you believe in God, meaning he said, what is right? When you look at the book of Matthew, he said, I don't want these things to be to sound as a preacher anyway. No, I'm not a religious bigotry. No. When you look at that Matthew, what does it say? It stated that seek it first, the kingdom of God and its righteousness. Seek it first, the kingdom of God and its righteousness. Meaning, when you said you are just your first level to accept this God, is to believe. In a heart, man believe, the sacred book said. Out of his mouth, what did it do? In a heart, man believe. So when you believe in your heart, to just believe, because our righteousness, when you're talking about righteousness, it said no human being, our righteousness is not from we, but from him that we believe, which is God. So what is that righteousness? That is the place I'm going. What is that righteousness? Thank you, Brother Emmanuel. What is that righteousness? Righteousness is to do things right. accept what is right, believe on what is right. To all a life human being is not right. So if you're a believer, you must disagree with anything that can take life, anything that can attract plight, calamity to people. If you claim you are a believer, you will not believe, you will not accept it. So if you are a believer, taking life is not right, it's not good. If you're a believer, taking the public, embezzling public funds is not right. As a leader, embezzlement is not right. It's not right. So righteousness is to right stand with the will of God. Is to right stand with the will of God. What is the will of God? Is the word of God. The will of God is the word of God. The word of God is the law of God. So to right stand with the will of God, which is the word of God, you can call it the laws of God. To right stand with the will of God, the word view of God. So when you say you are a believer, meaning you are telling us that your righteousness is still coming from God. So meaning you agree with God, and to agree with God, you know that is righteous. As this God is righteous, and you now say you believe in this God, so you must agree, you must right stand with his will, his ways, his characteristics, his attributes, all his attributes, his worldview. You must agree, you must right stand with it. So anything contrary going on like that in Nigeria, when you see stand by it, meaning you are not believer as you claim, as you portray. That is why number one problem of Nigeria is religion. So you see the president going to Mecca. You see the president going to wherever, going to Saudi Arabia, you see where they going to, where they went to. These people, they are producing, they are creating, they are developing their nation. But when you now come to Nigeria, you are doing the opposite. I don't understand the kind of Saudi Arabia you went to. What do you learn from Saudi Arabia? Meaning you didn't practice what they practice there. Meaning you are not emulating the development they are developing their nation. That aside, God, when you say God, God is a God of love. God is a God of love. And the opposite of love is hate. To unalive an innocent citizen is ungodly. Is ungodly. Is not godly. There's no God in anything that have to do with the lives of the innocent being reduced. I'm not even want to talk about that topic for now. I don't want to even dive onto that, to go into all of that. So, but I want to talk about responsibility. Yeah, that is enough. Because that is why I said I'm not doing justice to just put 5 minutes video to you, to your faces like that. I'm not doing justice to it when it comes to how we can resolve the issue that have to do with our nation, Nigeria. Even Africa in general. I'm passionate about the development, about the well-being of Africa. So, community. So there's a need for we to say, we are stopped believing now. We are taking responsibility. So we are believing enough. Now we are taking responsibility. It's hard time for that. It's hard time. It's hard time for we to say, we are believing. Now let us take responsibility. It's high time we should be doing all of that. We should consider all of this. If we are believing, now it's high time we we take responsibility. Because faith without taking responsibility is dead. Nothing like believing over there. That is why a nation Nigeria, the problem of Nigeria can never be resolved. Hence, we refuse to take the responsibility that we are prepared, because God never he never just took his time. I'm telling you, what it takes God to create you in his own image and likeness. He releases, when you look at the book of John, he said God created man. Man is from, he made man from clay. That from clay. And man, we are not breathing. That clay was on no life. No life with that clay. That clay. No life. So it not took him in own breath. It took God his breath. It took God his spirit. Because when he say breath, he's talking about spirit now. So it took God his energy. So it took God many things for enable you to have life that you are not using, and trying to use it to go and hide yourself in a comfort zone and say you see yourself indifference with what is going on in Nigeria. It never concerns you. It's not my family member that they are dragging to mud. It's not my family member they are doing this to. It does not concern me. So it took God something to give you that life you are not selfish. You are not selfish with. You don't want to walk your head. You don't want to involve in it. And kudos to anyone who are still speaking against what is not good in that nation. All the advocates, all the advocates, all the activists, human rights activists and all. I say kudos to you all. May God continue to strengthen you all to do what is right in order for lives to continue to be for life to be protected and be safe. Is it not enough of pain? You see mothers. When I saw the pain of our mothers in our mother's land, where we call our mother's land, when you see the pain, the agony, mothers are they threw themselves on ground and be no one to come to their rescue. Everybody seems to be helpless. I say, oh my God, are we helpless? Are we truly helpless? Are we helpless? In Nigeria, are we helpless? We are not helpless. Especially when I saw the multitude that run to religious gathering every Sunday, the multitude that run to religious gathering every Friday, and now we appear to be helpless on the surface of all this problem. I say something is definitely not right. How can we claim we believe in God and we appear to be helpless when everything that we actually needed in order for we to have whatsoever, in order for we to create whatsoever we are in need of in foreign country, God blesses that nation with all those raw materials, everything. But because of the mentality of some few elites, these things are not being used, are not being managed in order for the people to have the right protection. So that is not believing. I just believing. So that is why it's never enough for you to just claim you are a believer. It's not enough. It's not enough. So community development should start with believers. Should start with believers. Yes. So sad. Brother Emmanuel, so sad. I'm tired of, seeing our mothers in our mother's land throwing themselves on ground. Yes. I saw them throwing themselves on ground, crying. Oh, I saw, my God, what is going on? And the the leaders, the religious leaders, seems to be helpless. That is what makes me to say, there's a need for me to let our people to know that it's not enough to just say I pray, I have a talk, call on. How can you be? You are calling on Donald Trump. Then what are you doing? You are calling on Donald Trump. I saw the man of God standing on a mass grave, calling on Donald Trump to come to the nation, to come and save the people. I saw him in pain, roaring with a loud voice to call on Donald Trump. I said, then what are you guys both, you guys should be working too. What are you guys not doing? We average, I'm telling you, the half population. What are you guys doing? Children are hungry. Go to IGP, yes, IGP, DP camp, IGDP camp, right? IGDP camp, yeah, IGDP camp. Look at there. When you go there, you will see how many people, that are there, without, these people, they don't even have any means to go back to their community. They don't even have any means. How many people do they discover that are still there? In Nigeria, Elon Musk went there. If you see the reports, he carried back to yes, IDP camp. Yes, IDP camp. It's IDP camp, not IGP. IDP, IDP camp in Nigeria. In one in Borno, other is Adamawa, other region again Jobe. Have the high. So is that how we continue to build IDP camp all over? And we have the means, we have all the material, all the resources to tackle this problem. But you see people just, we just fold our hands and say, God. That is where I say, no, God does not work this way. God will do it. Let's pray. Let's pray. Let's pray. Let's just talk to God. Let's come and talk to God. And God is waiting for you to do something. God is waiting for you, waiting for the believers. The humanity are waiting. Your people, you see them they make them so vulnerable. Even North Central. How many millions? Over when Elon Musk, when he went to Nigeria, he saw the IDP camp. He hailed. Immediately after he returned back to US, the story he went there to talk about. He hailed. So here they are talking about 300 million in IDP camp. 3 million. I mean, sorry to say, 3 million. Because the whole population, I say 300 million, is the whole Nigeria there. No, this is 3 million. 3 million. We're talking about 3 million. Do you know that in some country, their population is not up to that 3 million? It's not even up to that. They are doing well. They are doing well. Like some region in some region in some Asia country. Asia continent. Yeah, Asia continent. Asia is a continent. So some region over there, there in some country in those continents, some have 10 million population. 10 million population. So here we have just IDP camp in Nigeria. It's talking about 3 million upward. 3 million upward. Then you are talking about nations that is already in IDP camp. Is that one not is it not alarming? That is alarming. Is alarming. So community development should start with the people that just say, they believe. For the fact that you say you believe in God alone, for the fact that you just claim that one, that is a big claim. It's an indication that you are accepting responsibility. Because your believing is not just going to, it's not stopping at believing alone. It went further to go to taking responsibility, action, resolving, helping, to help. Nobody is telling you about that, telling us to just come to start with big action. No, little actions. By teaching. Because when you look at a quote of an unknown person, he said that it's not even unknown. I can break that to you. I don't want to mention anyone before. Maybe you can know. Maybe you can know. You will know. You will understand who make this quote. He said, "What a joy! What a joy for rulers that people don't think." Can you put it under the comments? Put it under the comments who make that quote. He said, "What a joy for rulers that people don't think." Who make that quote? Can you relate to who make that quote? Can you relate to that? I believe we have people that fall in love with reading, that have time to read history, For me, I love reading. So let us start from, we cannot just fold our hands and say God. No. So when he's talking about that quote, what do you think that implies? It's basically telling us that when people are not thinking, what led to suspended mindset, post mindset, shallow-mindedness? What led to all of that? What led to people to not think? Yes, to start with. What made people not to think? We should go, and that is our assignment now. What make our people we can notice in our society, in our nation, that people cannot even think. So this leader, it's not a true leader. It wasn't a true leader. He make a quote and say, "What a joy in the heart of your leaders that the people that they are leading are not thinking. They are not thinkers." And thinkers rule this world. So you imagine a leader like that making a quote like that. He knew more than that. He knew what he's talking about. He said, "What a joy for leaders that people don't think." Oh my word! So so the question we should be, and we're not even talking about how bad, how wicked is that kind of mindset, how wicked is, how bad is that kind of person. We're even talking about how, what to start with, what make them not to think at the first time. In the first case, what led to that unthinkable mentality, not able to think? And if we cannot think, meaning we cannot live. Thinking is what make guarantee that we are living. A plant cannot think, and we call it a living thing. It's not living, existing. When we are talking about category of stuff, of things that are living stuff, living things and non living things in school. Why they taught us that a plant is a living thing, when we are taught with when they are teaching about, when they taught, we learned about all of that. In actual sense, plants don't think. So it's not living, it exists. It exists. Applicable to some people, category of some people that don't, when people don't think, they are in the category of tree. Animal don't ask question. Meaning, the reason why animal cannot ask question is for the fact that it cannot think. So when you use like corn, a corn is a domestic, like chicken. Chicken is one of the domestic animal, right? Right? When you throw corn, there even one leader in Edo State in Nigeria use Edo people to describe a fowl, a hen, a chicken. He said that they are like chicken. I don't want to mention them. He said they are like a chicken. What is he trying to, what does he discover that makes him to categorize a whole human being to be a chick, to be animal? Animal is an animal. And a chicken is a domestic, and one of the domestic animal. So what does it discover on them? It noticed that whatsoever you throw at them, they run after it. The characteristics of a chicken. Go and study the characteristics of a hen or chicken. So when a trap, you put corn in a trap, and you say, because you know that that fowl, any chicken can run at it. It can run into it because they don't think and say, how can they just simply put a corn in a a fanciful pattern like this, a fanciful setting like this. This can only be trapped. It cannot think, so it runs at it, and that is how it will be entrapped. So applicable to some leaders when an election is not coming, 2027 election is coming to Nigeria. So trap a lot of things like that, because people don't think, they throw themselves in it. They run it. They got trapped. And for a whole 4 to 8 years, so the leaders will be there. They'll be shocking. They will not be crying. Why didn't they think at the first time before they said I do? Even though they didn't do, it takes two to tango, my beloved brothers and sisters. It takes people for anyone to ring election. So anyone that compromise, what led to that is kind of person. What makes him to have that low life quality is for the fact that he can also think. If he can think, he will now understand that he's going to sabotage his coming generation future. Upcoming generation is going to sabotage their future, because he's talking about his stomach. After he must have joined his ancestors, his children will not come and face the reality on ground. His mistake. So because for the fact that he never think all this through, so he fell and say, give me money, I will do it. I will render that ungodly services. He will not think that if he sabotage, there's supposed to be legal processes, rightful processes. Follow the process. You want to be a leader. You want to be a leader. Okay, follow the due processes. We don't have to participate in any illegal act to make you in order for you to be there. No, that it's by your merit, because you are coming to serve me. I need a quality of a human being to be my president. I need a competent president. I need a competent governor. And why can't they go to think all this through? It's difficult. That is why who make this quote again? Who make this quote? And I'm no person again. He said, let me make sure they make the, let me talk about the quote. He said that thinking is difficult. Therefore, few people engage in it. Henry Ford. Why? You will not know. Anyone that making the quote, they knew more than that quote. They just put there shortly. They knew more than that. What does he discover that led him to make the quote like that? He's an history maker. Henry Ford. He's an history maker. He make history. He add value. He laid down a blueprint before he joined his ancestors. He's American. He said, thinking is difficult thing. Therefore, few people engage in it. What led him to make a quote like that? Because he discovered that people are not interested in taking the responsibility to think. Because if you are thinking, how will you know what will make you to know that you are a thinking person? Is ability to ask questions. If you cannot ask questions regarding your economic, you cannot ask questions regarding your resources, you cannot ask questions regarding the issues the societal problems on your nation. You cannot even ask questions regarding all those societal problems. It's an ability, it's an indication that you cannot think. Even when you're even bringing to bring them alive, to drag their attention to some people attention to issue like that, they'll say, I don't feel go involved. I don't feel involve myself for that kind. That not concern me. Now they know. Simply because they cannot think. They don't even know that their children that they are running after is the one that they are preparing to come and face that their shit that they are running from. They are running away from. Oh God. So this is how it functions. So when we say we believe in God, when we say we believe in God, meaning we must have to be available, taking the responsibility in our community development, to start with individually and collectively. Small actions, start from there. If you know you specialize on emphasis of making people to understand what is going on, bringing awareness, you specialize, you are good at that. Because when we're talking about promised land, he said that it will take you out of the land and will not take you to the promised land. You not go into the promised land. Where is the promised land? Since you are born, you have been expected to enter into the promised land. Where kind of promised land do you think that the sacred book was talking about? Where is your promised land? God is going to take you out of from a horrible land and to a horrible land, and I'll take you to the land of promise, a promised land. You are going to enter into the promised land. You wear all this mentality. What do you think? Where do you think is a promised land? That's another topic. A promised land. Let me just throw light a little. Let me just mention this in order for we to address it next time, for we to be familiar with it. A promised land is talking about is your place here on earth, where you are called. What you are called to do is your promised land. That calling, what you are called, your calling, your purpose in life, the reason why you exist. your promise, what you are good at, what God, what that your expertise. What are you expert on doing? What are you good at doing? That is your promised land. That is your promised land. That for that. So when you go to nations like Burkina Faso, you see the people voluntarily, volunteer to take responsibility for the development of their nation. Voluntarily, that is why I always pray for God to always support a very dark man for, being a part to enlighten, to impart the young ones in the society to always maintain, sanitize their environment. That is what we are talking about. This is what it meant to believe in this God. This is the godliness we are talking about. And this is a person that never goes to church, although his mother is a believer. This is a person, but look at the will of God is obedient to. And they don't go to altar to go and say hallelujah for you to see him as your pastor, as anything. They appear to be nothing about all of that. But you are talking about a man that fulfilling the will of God. A very dark man. Taking his part like that. That is how that is his promised land. That is the promised land. You see how he's doing it. He's going about it. Not only that, more that he's doing, because he's calling, he's fulfilling his calling outside the religious home. And because who called him is God. There you will not you will not be shocked and say, how can someone possibly fulfill his calling outside religion? Yes, absolutely, capital yes. You can fulfill your calling outside religious places. That is why you see in China, they are producing results. They never goes to read what we are reading. They don't believe, but they use the sacred book to do business. They are printing it. They are the one that prints it most. They don't believe on that. So taking a voluntary for the responsibility for the activities about the well-being of the nation, about the development of the nation, voluntary supporting going to the hospital, health centers, helping the sick, Look at the Good Samaritan, the sacred book talk about. Look at the Good Samaritan. Even the Jesus, he commends his work. He commends him. Yes. He participates on the act that was so recommendable, even to an extent for Jesus to acknowledge his activities. He said, look at the Good Samaritan. But when a religious man, you want to describe the religious man in a negative way, is not a religious, it's not just an ordinary religious, a priest, meaning a religious leader, a man that's supposed to be that obedient to the will of God in his nation. He saw someone who was being knocked, who was being half dead in the roadside. On the roadside, he was running to go and to the service. He abandoned the human, and because he never understand the will of God, he never understand the ways of the Lord. He never understand how to know God. Apostle said, Father, I've come that I may know thee and the power of the resurrection. So to know God, you must understand the most significant thing about anyone in any Christian, in anyone that believes believe in God. Let me put it like that. The most significant thing in anyone that believes in God is to know God and to understand God. To understand the will of God, to understand the ways of the Lord, to understand the attributes of God, to understand the characteristics of God, the understanding That is why King David said, Father, give me understanding that I may live. Meaning, if we lack understanding, meaning we are not also living. Many things, you see, many things that that define human being to be a living person or being an ordinary existing person. All those ungodly species that are unaliving believers in Nigeria. Do you want to tell me that they are living people? All those one people, they are existing. Religion has cast a spell on their head. It lays a stronghold. It cast a spell on their head. It laid a stronghold on their head. They cannot internalize. They cannot absorb information. That is why you see them carrying out ungodly acts, involving their selves into ungodly activity, thinking that they are living. All those are just species, ungodly species. Species has species. You still see some that is still useful, like a fish species and all of that, any species. But these are ungodly one. Ungodly one that's supposed to be living human being. Though they are not living. Because the ability, when you look at the book of when you look at John, at the book of Genesis, he said gonna release his breath, a man are becoming a living person. Meaning the ability to think is what determines us to be a living person, a living people. So to believe is to continue to, meaning taking responsibility to support the sick or helping the poor. This can bring positive change to our society, isn't it? It can bring positive change to our society. Believers are called to be active, not to just come and say, well, let's come and talk to God. Talking to God, what kind of talk is that? Not perceiving. And to make their faith visible. Yeah, to know, to believe. To believe. Believer means you are active, not just perceiving. And make faith visible is the work of a believer. Meaning, to make faith visible. What does this implies? Make faith visible. You know, when the Lord, when Jesus said that a son of man can do nothing of himself except what he see the Father do. What does that? Except what he see the Father do. What does that imply? Meaning, he seen the Father loving people, then he went about loving, right? He saw that part. He was the one that revealed God's nature to humanity. Human beings don't know how God looks like, how God behaves. Even God, the compassion. It was the one that revealed that God also have compassion. When they wanted to stone that woman to death, it was the one that said, hey, stop. Leave her alone. What does she do? They said, then according to their law, the sacred book said that the woman actually committed that adultery. But did Jesus permit them to unalive that woman? No. He said, no, leave her alone. Let her be. Because ignorant in that sense that them themselves, how can you that is not perfect in your hidden places? I don't know what you do in your closets. You come in here to come and prove to the whole public that putting on that holier than diamond attitude is an ungodly act. So Jesus perceived all of that on them, what they usually do on their closest. And I said, no, none of you even have the capacity, have the quality, have what it takes to take other person's life. And I said, let her be. You woman, go and sin no more. That was what saved that woman alive. And the rest that was religious, they tend to buy that woman. Eh? They attempt to buy that woman. Jesus not say, you want buy somebody. You not even get the you not have the moral justification to carry out that. Look at Nigeria. Both Christians and the Muslims, they are the one that brought this plight upon the nation. Their actions. You will say, what's a Christian constantly involved to when they are buying the Christian? How come? Yes, the what ignorance spread from religious places to the head of the people that are hearing it. We are what we hear. Oh, we are what we hear. We are what we hear. That is why they say we should take heed of what they are teaching there in all this small religious gathering here and there in Nigeria. Did you know? Is it adulterated enough? Is it sanitized? Is it morally is it good enough to make human being to graduate from ordinary human being to becoming a personality? To move from ordinary human being, ordinary person, to be a personality. We are seeing, when you did, it's only in Nigeria you see people that will just appear to you. No personality. No personality. So the corruption flow from the leaders to the people. That's why you see even children, 5 years old in Nigeria, just try to send us 5 years old something. It will tell you, sister, you'll give me something. Where does it learn that from? From the politicians. Bribing and corruption. He learned it from the leaders. He learned it somewhere. Where? So what they are teaching, you see they're carrying out ungodly activity into the society. You will not know that they learned it from somewhere. Nothing happened from a medium of nowhere. Words give birth to action, and action give birth to consequences, negatively or positively. When you use words to address issue properly, it will resolve, not to escalate of taking each other lives and all of that. It will resolve of solving medical problems. It will resolve, when you can be able to communicate words properly to your team. They can know what to do, the principle to implement to guarantee results. Feed at feeded, it said from where? From what does that mean? Implies. I don't know what you meant about from. So then when you use words to give instruction, before somebody taking action, it must have had a word. So when the word is correct, it taking that action, it determine the outcome, that determine the results that will come out from that. Is we call it consequences. They have, when the consequences, they are negative consequences and they are positive, as I said before, earlier. Then what will bring good results? What will also bring bad results? What is bringing bad results to Nigeria? Words has been spoken. They gave what brought bad results. They had a word from places, religious places. The people that carry out ungodly activities, they had a word from somewhere, either from Nigeria or outside, because it's now on our notice that foreign parties, foreign bodies, they are the one perpetrated. They are perpetrators of they contributed to the wickedness happening in Nigeria. for their selfish interest, for their personal interest. Yeah. For the ignorance running on their mind. When God himself, if you claim God himself he never take pleasure in the plight of anyone. That is why when you atheists that never believe that God is in existence, they still receive favor from this God. God never said, oh yeah, give me your life. If God, in him there's impunity, there's wickedness, there's the unrighteousness, he would actually carry out all these ungodly activities, their activities that they are involving in Nigeria, thinking that they are fighting for God, working for God, talking for God, doing. No, that is not God. Nothing like God. They are manipulate. Religion is a tool for manipulation. Religion is a tool for deception, subjugation, intimidation, bullying, dishumanization, cruelty. Yes, religion is that too. So that is why all these places that they are telling you that they are talking about is a religious centers and all. What they are teaching them is what they are passing ignorance. They pass ignorance to their head in some of them. Not all. In some of them, they are passing ignorance to the head of the people that are listening to them. That is why we won't make them to be taking knife wherever they are going. They're taking ammunition here and there when they are not fighting war. Before you know it, they are not educated. They don't believe on education. That education teaches that nobody has right to afflict pain because of the ignorance on their high level of ignorance on their mind. So before you engage in any little interaction with them or disagreement with them, you see them spark with their little fuse, myopic mind set. So before you know it, it resulted into ungodly situation. And they measure God. You see how they use God to manipulate. They measure God in a godly situation. You think about that. Can't you say that religion is a tool? Is a tool for manipulation. The easiest way to manipulate anyone is to just use religion. We can do better. Let us do better. If we want to have a better society, we can do better. We can do better. Because we, as a believer, it means we are the one to take the responsibility to support the sick in the hospitals. When you go to hospitals in Nigeria, so hospitals, I said, if you go to I usually visit hospitals in Nigeria. If you know what I have experienced, all those accidental ward and all, there you know that believing is not just enough. Some are still taking time at times. You see some of them, all these reverend, I went to Catholic school as well. So all these sisters, reverend sisters, they at times, you see them at times. But when you see the population of high level of the people that claim both parties now, the fact that you claim that you believe in this God is a responsibility, is an indication that you have accepted the responsibility to visit hospitals, to be visiting the sick in the hospitals, to help the poor, to bring real change to the nation, to your communities. It starts from community, little all this rural area. It starts from communities. It starts from your rural areas, your community, your society, to nation and to the world. It starts from there. It's an indication that you want to take responsibility to visit the sick at the hospital, helping the poor, because he says he's a father of the poor. The person that you claim, that you measure his name, that hi, oh God. So helping the poor, because for the fact that you have said you believe, they are not supposed to be anyone that is eating the remnants of food that you eat remain. You don't buy people fish. As God has provided all the means for the nation to be referred to as a rich nation in resources, in raw materials. They are not supposed to be anyone that will be eating remnants. Why are they subjugated into that abject poverty, pitiable condition? Why are they be subjugated to that? And you claim you go to wherever you claim, where you can fool you cannot fool God anyway. That's why whenever they tie that their rope and what they are doing is not in their demonstration, then they are already robbing. Everybody render everybody poor, impoverish the nation, the whole nation. Impoverish the average people cannot be proud. They are not proud. Yeah, average citizens of Nigeria, they cannot boast. They cannot be boast of 2 square meal a day. They are not boasting. That's why they not consume whatsoever they eat, and that now increase. That will not increase the people. Will not increase the people who are will not it will not contribute to their health. It will not contribute to the high number of people that has health challenges in the nation, because they are not eating right. They are being denied. So these set of people, they still say they believe. How is that believing? So it's have to stop. You have to stop. All those kind of manipulation have to stop. To believe is to act. To believe is to take responsibility. To believe is to help. Is to help the sick at the hospitals. And to help the poor. To bring great change to the society, to your community, to your state. Believers are called to be active, not to be passive. And to make their faith visible. And we were on this. I said, what does this mean? Meaning to convert all those times you spend in prayer. What are you converting out from there? Your prayer is not like that. You see, where do you learn that from? Even Jesus, when they saw him praying, after that you move, continue to do what is right to the people. You continue to act, taking responsibilities to bring sanity to the society, to his community, to the society, to bring sanity, to bring orderness, to speak truth to power. That is what he saw in prayer. You cannot possibly just tell me that you spend hours in prayer, doing kakaka, nothing be converted out of your prayer. That is not prayer. That is totally a waste of time. Conversion must be with prayer. If nothing be converted from what you are not seeing anything, Jesus he said, a son of man can do nothing of himself except what is seen. What are you saying? Do you want to tell me you don't do kakaka and say don't lie down and say and pray? You occupy the road that's supposed to be used for transport, for people to they are heading somewhere. You went there and are flooded there and say you are doing your prayers in Sundays, Fridays. Religions have rubbish, everything. No orderly. Everything disorderliness. So what you are seeing in prayer, it must be converted. So that is what this meant. That is why I say believer, yes, make their faith visible. Meaning you saw something in your prayer, you are not converting it to be benefit to the people. benefit to your society, benefit to your nation, benefit to the poor, benefit to the sick in the at the hospital, benefit to the widows, benefit to the widowers, benefit. That is what you are seeing. You are converting your faith to to something visible. So you do it. You are you are, yes. Is not visible, tangible. It's not tangible. It's not your prayer. That is how pray. That is what prayer. So through passive action in society. So what are the points I want to make in all of this? One, let me make my point, and what the lessons we have learned from all the calamity that have been before in Nigeria. I just also what we have learned from all those calamity, because problem, nothing happen without reasons for it. What is purpose? The reason why something exists. So then, so let me just prove a little point on what I've been, all that I narrated. One, my point number one: believers are called to take actions, not just believing alone. To take responsibility, not just believing alone. Point number two, you can put it down. Faith should be shown. It should be shown. It should be shown to people. Your faith. If you say you have faith, you believe. Faith should be shown through good work. That make it tangible results. That make it visible. So if you are not converting it, it can never be visible. It's not useful when your thing is visible. It's not helpful not until it's visible. People cannot eat they cannot benefit anything in spirit. They can only benefit what is visible, because they are visible being. They can only benefit. You cannot say, I pray for you to get money. No, you should provide. I pray for you to have food. You are not cooking and say, come, anyone that don't have food to eat. I usually carry my mother. I was a teenager. I just usually pack my mother's food. Whenever I don't use eye to see anyone that hungry. That is my problem. I don't use eye to see anyone that go through problem. I will make that problem to be all. That is what I'm called for. I was a teenager. Carry my mother food. I will carry my mother food. My mother will say, hey, you don't see carry my food. Over here will say, you want to go on, meaning my dialect, my mother's tongue. Oh yeah, I will say what to use to go and do good. I don't even know how to convert, how to generate money. When I started using my mother's own, I using my mother's own that is available. I carry it. Anyone that is homeless, the one that people are homeless, I'll come to my mother. I'll come and use my words to make sure I solve the problem of that person. Talk to my mother, because my father has a very big house. We are the only people in that house. So I'll use my mouth to make sure I resolve the issue for that person, to solve the problem of the homeless person, to bring them and talk to my mother why they are homeless. And my mother, because he have given birth to a deliverer, she must feel the parts. She will feel the hits too. He will say, hey, Uwemude, you are bringing again. That is how I have to know many people that are not saying, calling my name. Knowing many people that are not saying, this person, I know this woman. That is how I got to know the people that I know. I didn't met them that everything was just a bed of roses. No, I met them while they were strongly. So after people are okay, God take my direction to elsewhere. They are still in need. That is how it's supposed to be. So my point number two, faith should be shown through this channel. We take it further by special grace of God. Faith should be shown. I'm coming, guys. You're welcome. So faith should be shown. Point number 2. Let us just, because of time. Faith should be shown through good works. My point number 3. Personal responsibility is a part of true belief. Part of true belief. Point number 4. Point number 4. Please like this video. Don't ruin it for us. Don't ruin it. It's for us. Don't ruin it. So point number 4. Believers should care about their communities, their surrounding. Should care about their surroundings. Should care about their community, their nation. That is what should be the responsibility of believers. Should care about their nation. Don't say you see yourself indifference between you and what is going on in your nation. You are part of it. So don't wear that wrong mentality. So believers should care about their communities, their states, and the well-being of their nation. Then point number 4, helping others is a key duty of faith, of believing. Point number 6. Education helps build a strong society. This is the point of all my narrations. And just point, this is the point I want to make. The education helps build a strong society. So you see lack of knowledge. Say for not the Hosea make us understand that. He said, my people only destroys. They only destroys for lack of knowledge. Meaning when people lack knowledge, you will see them carrying out ungodly. Is ignorance on the head of all those insurgencies that make them to be carrying out all those species that make them to think that by talking to the government is to unalive the lives of the innocent. Ignorance is on their mind. Ignorance led to all of that. Those are because ignorance is a darkness. What is ignorance? What is ignorance? Ignorance is a darkness. It's a darkness that darkens anyone's heart, that will not enable him or her to see what is right to do in a society, to see what is right in a nation, to see what is good, to see what can protect, what can save, what can help. So you cannot see it. You that have that are knowledgeable enough to know that you are seeing. So knowledge is a light. You can see. So ignorance is a darkness. Darkness is your heart. You cannot see. They cannot see. So education helps build a strong society. So when you want to have a strong society in a nation, that is why in Chinese proverb, it said that in one of their proverbs, they have a lot of proverbs that they are mottos, Then one of their proverbs stated that if you want to plan, you have to do with planning on this. If you want to plan for decades, plant rice. If you want to plant for centuries, plant trees. If you want to plant for lifetime, continue to make knowledge in a nation accessible for everybody. Let there be free education. Provide textbooks for let printers, factories that print books. Let knowledge make knowledge accessible. So that you see their outcome results. Everybody want to embrace the results that their motto, their proverb. You see proverb that makes sense. They invented that proverb. So, then point number 7, believers can support schools and learning programs. Believers, for the fact that you said you are a believer, this is your responsibility. Responsibilities like this are supposed to be, it's supposed to concern you. You know, if it say, it not concern me, not concern. For the fact that you say you are a believer is what makes it concern you. Meaning you are taking responsibility, meaning you are acknowledged to take responsibility. That is why you said you are a believer. You are accepting the responsibility by calling yourself a believer. The point number 8, good health is important for community growth. That is all my points about. These are the points about all my narration since. Then point number 9. Helping the sick shows love and compassion. Helping the sick is what is not I love you. Is not love without giving. Is the only thing that can authentify love is to share, is to give. You cannot tell me you love me when you cannot give me, when you cannot give words of encouragement. There are words of encouragement. There are clothes you don't wear, people that needs it. Don't show love by sharing what you don't, the clothes that you will not wearing again. Clean them and package them very well. Go and give it out to the people that have nothing to wear. That is how you are showing love. You are showing love. So how do you share? How do you share? When I say share, now many people say, I not get money on I make me. So if to share, what I'm doing is sharing. I'm showing love to my society, to my generation. Where I'm strong, I'm sharing to those that are weak at this area that never thought of this, that never have anything like they never experienced anything like this. They never acknowledge anything and never thought of what I'm bringing light to. Point number 9, say helping the sick is how to show love and compassion. Then point number 9, point number 10, rather, safety make community better place and to live together. And point number 11, believers should promote peace and order. That is why I say, for the fact that you say you are a believer at all, if you're actually a believer, what will promote peace and order is what you should consider to be your ideology. Your ideology, your philosophy. Why can you possibly believe on ideology and idea is what give birth to ideology. Ideology can also give birth to, is what also from ideology to philosophy. People can just say, this is my philosophy because of, go and check their belief system. Belief system is what produce ideology. Go and check their belief system. So the belief, what they are feeding there on their head, what they are hearing in their religious places is what determine how what they are demonstrating to you now in Nigeria. You are not running head scatter and say, what kind of human being are this? They are just acting like animal. They are behaving like less than a human because of what the words they are feeding them. So the work of the government is to fix programs, not even religious programs. Not religious program. That one will also ruin them. It will also sabotage everything. All those ones are still manipulation, as the means of to manipulate the nation, to manipulate, to just to just scatter everything. It's not still religious program. Let it be expertise, professionalism program, professionals programs that can sanitize their mind, that can bring the light of the reality of life that can make them understand the loss of life. The loss of life is not, they can only be deluded through religion, more delusionment, They will be deluded. So point number, what point are we? What point are we? Hello. Head two. Hello. Hi. Where are you watching from? Let me know where you are watching more from. This is a Creative Kingdom. You all know me already, and I appreciate you guys that have subscribed to this channel. And let's take it further. Let's take it further because we are heading somewhere. Let's support this channel. This is about creative mindset, creativity, creative mindset. These have to, how we can generate sound minds, how we can develop in a way of our reasoning. You have to do with all of that, and how to focus on our purpose, why the reason why we exist, and all of that. have a better society. It's all about this China, guys. Please support this China. Support this China. Then point number 12. Point number 12. Small actions can create big change. Small responsibility can possibly create big change if we don't know. Then point number 13. Voluntary is one way to serve the community. Voluntary, not everything. You see, Rate is who invented that idea. Is a very dark man. So there can be more of that for other spheres, you know. More of that in different spheres. You will see the nation will be sanitized. Eh? They will not have safe problem, the insecurity issues in the nation. Uncle Musa, Christopher Musa, that one is he have been crying, pouring out his pain and frustration that he needs our support. He needs our support. So there can be more of VDM. In order, you saw him with VDM. In order for you to know that our nation needs our help. Not financially, we are rich. Not financially, because the way we think. People are not thinking. We have the resources that can generate funds. So we should be, all those our resources, the people that are in charge of all of that should sanitize their mind, because transformation can never come to a nation without leadership. Transformation to a nation, in a nation, it starts from the leadership. So there must be our mind. That is why we say mindset of the leaders, mindset of the people, because corruption basically flow from the leaders to the people. So when the leaders sanitizing themselves, renew their mind, you see the people will also be getting it right. So point number 15, or rather 14, giving time is as important as giving money. We don't even have the problem of money to start with in Nigeria. No, there's no money problem, because God has blessed that nation. So for a few people, elite to hijack the blessings of God in that nation, that is where you come since as a citizen. That is what you should be bothered about. And say, no, it shouldn't be hijacked, because it's your upcoming generation that they are going to frustrate. You still join them when they are doing their campaign. You join them to ruin everything. The right person is not having access to power. Who is your upcoming generation that you want to put into that mess? So 14, believers should stand up. Believers should stand up for what is right, not the opposite. Remember, I told you to God is to be righteous is to stand with what is right. It's not to tie your head, not wearing earring that makes you righteous. Would you know what is right? They that know what is right and does not do, unto them is a sin, the sacred book said. So the point number 16, helping the poor is a moral responsibility, moral action. Then point number 17, unity makes community strongest. So when there's this unity, we are not agree to make the nation work. We are not agree to stop supporting corrupt leaders. We are not agree to make sure we help each other to reach each other goal, to help each other, to support one another. Not a bribe. When you are occupying as an immigration officer, what are you rendering to people? Not if you don't, you'll be there if you don't bring anything. What are you doing? We should be of good example, please. We are not doing things right if it's about a good corruption and a lot of things that are contrary to the will of God, the ways of the Lord. So unity, we should unite to make our nation go stronger. Good example is to inspire each and one another. Good examples to inspire one another. If I'm inspiring you, you support me. If only when you don't find anything meaningful on this message, you cannot support me. But even when you that the weak, I say, why do we have to be of support? We should always learn to support one another. There's no how you can demonstrate that you believe in this God without sharing. How do we share? Where you are weak, strong, you share to those that are weak in that area to make them get up, not to join them to make sure you make it that person collapse, to down, to contribute to the failure, to downfall of that. No, you contribute to the uprising of people around you in your community. That is unity. Do good, be of good example to inspire others to do good. Be mirror. We are all leaders, but we are not all of us that are true leaders. We are all leaders, but not all of us that are true leaders. True leaders, to become true leader, you become true leader. But we are leaders, but we are not all of us that are true leader. That is why you see many loopholes, many lapses everywhere, many many things that there are many negligences, there are negligence of the responsibility of the leaders, abandons of projects here and there because people are not ready they're not ready. So good example will inspire others to do good. Good example, a good example in any sphere, agriculture, in health center, in mineral mineral center, in a school educational system, in sports system. Be that good example. In political spheres, be that good example. In traditional sphere, be that good example. In religious sphere, be that good example. In working system, be that good example. Use yourself to show good example. Let us work it out. We can do it. Let's do it, please. Faith grows when it is put into actions. Faith without action is dead faith. Nothing like faith there. We can do it. We can be a better human being. We can be a better human being. Then strong communities reflect strong values. Now, what have we learned? What have we learned from all that are happening to Nigeria? All that have been happening. What have we learned from it? Because the greatest people in the society are people that people that made mistake and stay put in their mistake. Are people that saw mistake happening, errors, failures, and all, and could be able to learn one or two things from it in order for that not to continue to repeat itself. These are the greatest people. These are the most successful people in our society these days. We celebrate. They learn from their failure. They once failed. If you know the past history, if you know the biography of many history makers, you go, hey, of the level of failure, what they fail. Some of them, they drop out of school. So that is why I say, what have we been learning from all the failure we have been experiencing in Nigeria? One of the things we have learned is security is everyone's business. Security is everyone's work. It's not about president, is a government work. Who is the government? Human being. Abraham Lincoln defined what is democracy. What is also a government? Government are the people. Government are the people. So security is everyone's business. We learned from this. Government alone cannot do what? It cannot do it. If we expect, the president should, why is the Bola Ahmed Tinubu doing? What is his government doing? Blah, blah. Government alone cannot do anything. Hello. Government alone, if we don't expect the government to come and protect your community, protect your state, without your state coming up with a reasonable strategy that the government will not support because of the official legal, it's not going to work. So That is what we learn, what we have learned from all of this problem like insecurity. Security matter is not one person's business, it's everybody's business. Government alone cannot do it. Citizens must also be alert and responsible for duties, take responsible. Then other stuff we have we have learned from what have been conspiring, all the negative vibes and energy that be going on, negativity that be going on in Nigeria. Poor leadership. People are poor. Poor leadership. We have that. What do we learn in the issue of poor leadership? Poor leadership has serious consequences. What do we have to learn from that? When leaders fail, people also suffer. So people suffer. People suffer. When leaders fail, people suffer insecurity, fear, and lose of lives. There will be loss of life. Loss of life. So leaders, you see, poor leadership has serious consequences. So the actions of the Nigerian leaders has serious consequences. So when leaders fail, so leaders should learn not to continue to be failing the nation, failing themselves, failing the nation. We have learned that there's leadership failure, and there's a lot of consequences that are attached to that. So because when leadership fails, people suffer insecurity, because that is an indication that leaders have failed. I told you that not to develop a nation without starting from the leadership. So fear infiltrates into people in the society, and there will be losses of lives. What have we learned from all the problems that have been leveraging the nation, Nigeria? Poverty and unemployment fuel insecurity. We learn from this. So many crime grows because people have no job. That is one thing we have to notice on this problem. People have no job. So crime increase when when there's no job creativity in the nation. When there's not the unemployment rate is so low. So the crime will increase. Hope will be gone. So issues like, what have we learned for the issue of corruption? Issue of corruption weaken system, it weaken society system. When corruption going to increase, the system bafuka. So when fund met for the society as be stolen, for example, then insecurity increases. It increases. Like her, so that the lady minute to grow support her. Like, thank you. Guapo. Thank you, Guapo. Thank you. Guapo. I'm Wapa, you are Wapo. You see the combination? Thank you. Yes, so as my watch hours, I'm using this privilege because nobody have all the time to just, to spend this time like that. So my watch hour will also boost up, because they also demand watch hour from me, as you have said. It's been demanded from me. So every opportunity we take it. It's just a privilege. It's a privilege for we to do conversion. So I cannot just, waste my watch hour without converting it to tangible results like this. That is it. So then corruption weakens society. It weakens security system. When funds meant for the society are stolen, these are lessons to be learned. Insecurity increases. Other lessons we should also learn is this: intelligence from our intelligences, intellectual intelligences, security intelligences, intelligence and earlier warning are very important. Intelligence and earlier warning. A stitch in time, you remember, say it's saved now, right? Intelligence and earlier warning are very important. Many attacks could have been reduced. Could be reduced if information would have been shared earlier. That is one thing we learn on this matter of insecurity going on in the nation. You see, other lessons we should learn is community coming about in the sphere of the community. Community must work together. There must be unity work. They must work together. Division by tribe, religion, or political make insecurity also worsen. It worsen it. It gets worse when you continue to be all those religious sentiments and tribal sentiments and be sentimental. You are putting everybody at risk. You are putting everything. You are worsening the whole thing. You'll be thinking that you are doing anybody any good. You are not doing yourself good. You are not doing anybody good because you don't wall what will I call it, a domestic, a wild animal to become a domestic animal. It must only come for you. It must use it to practice one day. So when you want to real animal, you don't real wild animal to becoming a domestic animal and allow it to be okay, everything will be fine. One day we use it to demonstrate that is actually a wild animal. Is the nature. You cannot change nature. Is a wild animal and we use it to. How will you will surprise? How come it was be trained and all of that? How come they not turn against him? Because nature, it already is already on his is be created to be wild. Is created to be so. Not be you as a human being that is an ordinary creation like that person that cannot do the change. You don't change human being like that. Human being don't change. Human being don't change. When it comes to character, he grew up with it. So that is why the biggest error Buhari can ever make for Nigeria is to recruit all these ungodly species into Nigeria, in the Nigerian army. See how they are bringing them down. I saw it coming. When he would just make that attempt, I said, oh, this man miss it here. They don't do that. They don't do that. Then other lessons we should be learning from these things going on, abnormality going on in Nigeria, like the issue of security, justice, our judiciary system. Justice must be fair and fast, not delay. How can it be somebody being in a no trial for someone for 7 years in a custody of any agency, 7 years of being headband, no trial, not giving trial to. They must, it must be fast. It must be fast. There must be movement, So justice must be fair. It must be fair as well, not only just fast and manipulate the whole stories and say it's fast. No, it must be fair. Must be fair. Justice must be fair. When we look at what God is said is a God. What does he ask everybody? Say, what do I need? In the book of Amos, he said, I need justice. He never told you to come and bring in money. God is not in lack. Was never in lack of money. God is not hungry. It's God that gave us, that make us. How can you possibly say you want to give God? You'll be looking for big anything, any religious people to say why the sick are there. You are not. Can't go and take care of the bills of the people at the hospital if you don't know what to use money for. If you want to do for God, say even Jesus that came to reveal God to us. He told us he said that. What did he say? He said, I was hungry, you never feed you. I was hungry, you feed me. I was sick, you. Then I said, where do we see you? When do we not see you? And all of that not happen. He said that the one that you did among the least, the one that you will do among the least of you, is where I take my glory. Meaning the joy in the heart of that person that have been in the need for a long time. As you remove hook from his neck, he free. He had the joy in his heart. God taking his glory from the heart of the less privileged, the orphans, the widows, widowers, the sick that you went to go and pay his or her bill, to let it go. The joy with God will be taking his glory from the heart. God, he lives in the heart. God functions with the heart. He don't function with what you thought. He don't function before you walk with the heart. You have to do the glory of the that. Oh Lord. So justice. He said, "What do you think? He said, what do I need?" He said, "I need justice and no sense of it. I need fairness. I need fairness." So then what do we learn from the issue of youth being neglected? The negligence of abandoning the youth. You see youth, they are involving in different crimes. That shows to use that there's negligence of responsibilities. So neglecting youth neglect is dangerous to the nation. Youth neglect is dangerous to the Nigeria as a nation. Ignoring young men that's supposed to be casual wrong, that's supposed to be engaging, make knowledge accessible, empowering them, sponsoring them, giving them scholarships and all of that for enable them. Look at our politicians are running to India to go and whenever they need medical attentions. They run to India, they run to London, they run to the different, all those people, they invest on their education. They invest on the medical system. They are not disrehabilitating it. They are not destabilizing it. They are not doing it. They're not destabilizing it. But when it comes to Nigeria, the negligence of the ministers, abandoning hospitals, abandoning of government school, abandoning of this is an indication of failures, woefully. So the whole world will just be saying that kind of failure. Enough of all of that. We can do better. That is one thing we should learn from. We should learn that youth neglect is dangerous. Ignoring young people make them easy targets. That is why you see all this insurgency. Recruit, it will be even Nigeria army don't even have access to them the way all these insurgency groups are seeing them. That is why the Nigeria leaders must think fast, renew their mindset in hurry. To renew their mindset, change their mindset. Because you cannot keep on applying one thing and be expecting different results. Albert Einstein says it's only mad people that do that. And I believe that you are not mad. We can do better than what we have been saying. So then we involve in crime. You'll be saying crime increase because of the laziness of the youth, of the young ones that's supposed to generate the money, the fund be raising from our resources. Use it, give better, invest on the youths, on the young ones in the society. Abandoning them, ignoring them. What are you succeeded doing? You are succeeded creating the atmosphere for crime to increase in the nation. And when crime is increasing, they are falling, you are brutalizing them. You should have yourself to blame as well. As a leader, you should blame yourself. You are not, that is why, you see, no one is righteous. You as a police officer, as a military, you want to brutalize a young one that the negligence of some failure of the leader led to no justification to commit crime, but this is what led to the crime. So we can do better on this. Trust between citizens and society agency I'm talking about. How will you build that trust? It matters. Without trust, and the account trust of our intelligence, our security agencies and intelligences and security intelligences, the account trust will be bafuka. The citizen no longer trust the police, no longer trust our Nigeria army. See what led to that. So there's a need for this to be the concerns of the police, of the police and the Nigeria agency. So without trust, the account trust, when the account trust is broken, I'm not here to talk about trust now, because the account trust, I can see that there's no account trust there. So people, when there's no trust, people have already lost confidence. When there's no trust, people will not report threats or crime to any security intelligences. They will not report anything. They will just they'll become, because they're not trusting. No trust. The account trust don't bafuka for decades, many decades ago. So how to rectify all of that? I will still be bringing all those teaching. Hence, whenever I will be coming on live for some reasons now. So pray now. What are the lessons we have learned about prayer? Prayer must go with actions. So these are the lessons, some of the lessons we have learned from that. Prayer must go with responsibilities. Faith alone is even the sacred book. It said that faith without action is dead. Faith alone is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Planning, discipline, and responsibility are needed. Planning, discipline, and responsibility are needed. That just I have faith, I'm praying. What does that mean? What do we learn from all those kind of prayer we have been praying? Not basically nothing. So if we want to get better results, we must do better than just to pray. Let us pray no, you don't do that. You do take responsibilities. Just as I am taking responsibility now. It took me time. Time is life. I'm converting my time to these results. Thank you. I have to be taking my leave for now. Thank you. I do really appreciate you. Oh, thank you. Wawese. Wahia Wahia. And may God bless you all that have support, that have dropped comments. I really do. That comment is very, 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 very much important for me to grow this channel. That comment, put your thoughts. The area that you are, I told you that the word is love without demonstration is not love. The only thing that can authentify love is sharing. The area you are strong, then you can put it on the comment section when you are seeing any loopholes. You are saying that there's a need to, because the whole world had coming to see that comment. You thought that it's only me that will just be reading that your comment. You do well. The whole world are coming. Children, generations to come, they are coming. It's a generation something. They will come. Thank God for social media. Thank God for technology. They are coming to see your contribution, what comes out of you. That is why you should learn to be positive. They are coming. It drops also comments. So person drops also comments. I'm quoting a quote from people that have gone, that have lived and gone, because simply for the fact that it makes sense. So please drop your comment under the comment section that add to correct some certain things, that can add values, that can also correct the negative narrative. Yes. Thank you. And remain blessed. I didn't even share. And there was I didn't share, so maybe I can share. Let me try to share. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.